Oh my God, I don't know what to think now. I had Al's back until all this stuff came out after Funky Dineva did his interview with Carlos King. Al has pretty much been the quiet one, except for sending subliminals through his Court of Public Opinion show or his Instagram. But it seems like he was wreaking some havoc behind the scenes. However, nobody's innocent in the cancellation of TGIF. Claudia Jordan decided to drop some receipts, aka Zoom meetings from TGIF, and handed them over to Conscious TV. It paints Al Reynolds in a very, very bad light. However, I think everybody had a part to play in the demise of TGIF, including producer Joyce. I kind of feel bad for Armon Wiggins because they took advantage of his greenness. But as Funky Dineva said, he did try to hand him the handbook and tell him how to maneuver. We're going to look at the Zoom calls, and we're going to look at Funky's apology and Armon, a little bit of Armon's meltdown. So as some of you may know, Funky Dineva did an interview with Carlos King, and it started a wildfire. He didn't speak ill of Armon Wiggins, but he did try to offer Armon advice and say that Armon kind of needs to grow up and mature a little bit. But as things started unfolding and Armon told his side finally, Funky had to kind of eat some of his words. And he also said he was speaking from a perspective of only knowing Al's side, and knowing what he knew when he was working for Fox Soul. So you have to kind of give Cut Funky a little slack, because he does seem like, he was manipulated a little bit, or he was not speaking objectively. Gotta give credit to House of Aaron and Conscious TV and The Messy Sweet Spot.
Did I miss something? Did I miss when somebody called on me?
I'm not raising my voice at you.
Well, I am, because I'm upset. I'm tired of my EP not respecting how I feel. I'm tired of my EP talking about me. I'm tired of my EP acting like one thing in front of one group and one thing in front of another. Okay, I have a right to be upset. I asked you to please let me go. You will not let me go.
Wow.
This is what you get.
Okay.
So, being as though Al is saying he asked to be let out of his contract and he asked to go, that would kind of prove what Claudia and Armon was saying, that Al was trying to tank the show. So they were probably right about that. Al was trying to tank the show because he asked to be let go. He didn't like all the criticism he was getting from the producers and whatnot. He didn't like the direction the show was going in, but they wouldn't let him go. So maybe he did try to tank the show.
And I'm glad it's being recorded, because I need for people to see what I'm dealing with. There's a disconnect, Joyce, and you refuse to recognize it, and it's not fair. You say to us certain things, but then you backslide on it. You say certain things to me, and you say certain things to other people. It's quite clear you got caught twice.
It sounds like Joyce was at times trying to be diplomatic and didn't want to get involved in the mess, but it seems like dealing with Al and Claudia and Armon and Funky, it was rather difficult to stay out of the mess. It seemed like she ended up looking like the bad guy no matter what she did, because they've been bringing up Joyce's name a lot. And Al's friend Sean came to Joyce's defense on AT2's YouTube channel.
Talking about me. You got caught. And I won't even tell on this show, on this Zoom, what you said to me offline. Okay, so we won't even talk about it. Oh, I'm not paying attention to the show? Did I miss something? Did I miss when somebody called on me?
Sometimes Al wasn't paying attention, but it's not like they're, at a news desk or something and he keeps reading a book or on his phone. They're on a Zoom call. He may have forgotten to hit the mute button. A lot of people make that mistake.
I'm not raising my voice at you.
Well, I am, because I'm upset.
And now we're good, Joyce. And that's why the show has been really good the last few days, because we're not being kept at odds. Fun fact for you, Joyce. Do you know whenever me and Armon get into it on the show and he comes for me, Al rushes and calls Armon to tell him how much he loves the discourse on the show when he comes for me? What kind of show is that?
Where I am right now mentally definitely feels like that position that Portia was in on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, where her and Phaedra got into it about that stuff with Candy, and Phaedra lied about where the information came from and had Portia up here looking stupid. I was going through the comments, and the overwhelming majority of a lot of the comments are saying that I'm gaslighting Armon and that I'm refusing to call out Al. And I'm like, okay, so many.
It did kind of seem like that, but I don't think Funky would have anything to gain from gaslighting Armon. He's out of it. He's not on the show anymore. I mean, he doesn't have anything against Armon, so why would he be gaslighting him?
People are saying this, like something has to be a little off, or there is a piece that's missing that either is not connecting with me or not connecting with y'all. So let me just clear up one thing, and so we can all try to get a little bit of understanding. Everybody is saying Al is a snake, and why don't I call out Al? I am completely being honest here, and it has nothing to do with friendship. It has nothing to do with friendship. Up until the time that I left, there was nothing for me to call Al out on outside of what we've already talked about, which is the text messages, so on and so forth. Al, I have no problem calling out anybody who was wrong, including myself. And I have no problem coming back and correcting something if I was wrong. I am operating in this moment off of the information that I have. Okay. Somebody want to call me and let me know what all the hell going on. Please call me, because I don't appreciate sitting up here on the internet looking like Portia when she was looking stupid down to that reunion. And if I'm being totally honest, that's how I feel right now. I don't know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on. Somebody.
That was a bad Portia impersonation.
Fill me in.
So that was Funky's response once the interview came out and people were, telling him, you're not looking at all sides of it. You're taking up for Al.
What's going on? It's very hard for me to even be upset with him, because it just came off very childlike. And
Lord, so he calling Armon immature again.
From where I sit, it literally would be the equivalent of me being upset with one of my nephews. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where they accuse Funky of still gaslighting Armon, or kind of shading him a little bit, because it's like, Funky, you and Armon don't have that huge of an age difference. Maybe he is immature and it seems like they do, but Armon is like, what, 34, 36, and Funky is 40? A nephew? Know about that.
It's to be quite honest, and even to this point, I am still a supporter of Armon. I can't even bring myself to be mad or bothered by the situation. I'm if any.
Well, he read you down, so I guess you're just gonna bow out gracefully.
Anything, I'm just highly disappointed, because I'm shaking my head and I'm like, the very thing that I was trying to give you some constructive criticism on was the very thing that you exemplified. You just had an all-out fit. And here's the thing, I'm not telling anybody that they don't have the right to be upset, or they don't have the right to be mad, or they don't have the right to feel any type of way, because he does. But what I saw in a part of his response was somebody who was hurting. What I think is unfortunate is you have two people, myself and Carlos King, who have the ability to garner a lot of attention in the urban pop culture space. And there are a lot of eyeballs on that interview and the subject that is.
So basically, he's saying here that Armand kind of reacted unprofessionally or put himself in a negative light when there were probably a lot more eyeballs on him now. So he kind of sabotaged himself with his response, his tirade that we're going to see in a minute.
TGIF by both fans, networks, and producers. And I just find it unfortunate that you could not find it somewhere in yourself to hold it together and present yourself slightly better than that with all these people that are watching and that want the tea.
Armand not listening. He don't want constructive criticism.
And that want the salaciousness, and you played right into it and totally exemplified what I said, which was a lack of maturity. And while it may be one-sided, I highly doubt that it's so one-sided to the point where my assessment of it still was unfair. A hardcore fact, regardless of how the roast came about, there was a roast that took place, and then the show never came back.
Bam.
The roast was a contributing factor in the show not coming back through.
So fucking mad. Bitch, I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. I went through so much bullshit on that motherfucking show. I went through so much shit.
Dang.
Fuck you, bitch. Fuck.
You need a towel or a napkin or something.
Every fucking day. I'm so fucking mad. And motherfuckers love to blame me for every fucking thing. Bitch, I wasn't getting $250 fucking $1,000. Bitch, I wasn't getting all these fucking opportunities. Bitch, I was being dragged on both ends. The fuck?
You've been dragged on all ends. Al, Claudia, producers, fans. I mean, gosh. I have to commend him for keeping a smile on his face. I understand his frustration.
Motherfuckers was trying me left and fucking right. And I had to sit up there and smile every fucking day.
Oh.
I'm so fucking mad. I have to fucking smile every day.
Al, Claudia.
I'm so
Joyce.
fucking heated. I don't give a fuck about that show. Y'all had me fucked up. Bitches always speaking on me, bitch. What's up? Ugh, I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. It's like y'all will love to blame it on fucking me. These motherfuckers got their own fucking issues. These motherfuckers older than me.
I'm glad he got it out, but I think he should have told his story sooner. If you had that bad of an experience, you should have been said something so people would stop blaming you.
I'm so fucking irritated, bro. So fucking mad.
The position that you found yourself in, Armon, was the very position I was trying to prevent you from being in. Hence why I gave you.
So if Funky gave him the handbook, how did he go astray? Did somebody tell him that Funky was against him too?
Space. See, the unfortunate thing is, you know, you've got one person who has made it their life's mission to be in all the comments, responding to all the blogs,
Claudia.
doing all the interviews. The first person to break the news that the show was canceled before the show was even officially canceled.
Claudia.
The only person doing all the talking. You notice everybody else is quiet, and thus that's the person driving the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
You got swept up in some games that were being played before you entered the scene, and you made the choice to align yourself with the very side, and I'm going to reveal some stuff here. You chose to align yourself with the very person when you were auditioning who went to the execs and said, some stuff here. You chose to align yourself with the very person when you were auditioning who went to the execs and said, he does not like women. I feel threatened when working with this person. This person is not a good fit.
Like a Karen.
And whether you know it or not, and despite how you may feel about Al at this point in time, it was Al who stood up for you and said, you know what? I have to draw the line here. It's one thing if you don't want to work with him. That's one thing. It's another thing for you to ruin his name with the whole Fox organization.
Dang, that's cold.
Okay. Once that was revealed to me, that is when I started working on your behalf in the background. That's when I began texting Joyce saying, Joyce, y'all would be a doggone fool not to hire Armon. Y'all would be a fool. He's the only one that can do it. Then if you notice, when I posted that post on my Instagram and I said, Armon did so good, y'all. It's nobody else that can take my spot except Armon. That was all intentional, Armon.
I remember that. Gave him his blessing.
That was all intentional. That was me and Al working in the background to get you the job because she was working so hard for you not to get it.
So Claudia's the culprit. I thought so.
The PTSD from me being there, you even told me that she called you and said, don't think because you got a YouTube page and you got a YouTube following that means anything over here.
Claudia did that?
Same one who said you were talking too much, that you need to dial it back, that you needed to fall back.
Lord have mercy. This is a show about 3 people giving their opinions on hot topics. Like, why was this so difficult? Why? Why couldn't they all just get along for however much money it was? So unprofessional.
You can take what I gave you. You can take it any way you want to take it. Based on the experience that I had there, I felt like I was doing you a service, not a disservice, by disclosing everything that I experienced when I was working there in her game. And collectively, that game caused that show to get canceled. I guess the fair thing to say is that all 3 of y'all collectively got that show canceled. That's the thing. And like, people are watching. So now it's, he's volatile. He's going to be uneasy to work with. Whenever we hire him, he's going to go off of the deep end. And that's why I'm extending grace, compassion, empathy, and sympathy for you. Like, dog, you got to step that maturity piece up, Armon. Say it with love. Now, you can read me for filth again. You cannot heed to it.
And he might.
But I promise you, there's no ill intent. I've been there. I remember my agent calling me saying, what are you doing? I remember the doors that got closed in my face because I behaved that way. Because you are another Black gay man in this space that is being recognized, I was trying to help you. And I won't apologize for that.
Uncle Funky.
I was trying to help you. And I'm still trying to help you. Like I said, I'm not mad. You can pick up the phone today, tomorrow, and call me, and I promise you we can talk about it and go get a drink.
So who do y'all believe? I mean, Al really hadn't told his side yet. His friend Sean or Deshaun has said some things. Armon told his side. Claudia says she still has some stuff to get out. That's why she's releasing those Zoom calls. So, you know, in my opinion, they should all been fired. If they're kicking up all this sand in the background and trying to plot and manipulate and stuff, they should all been fired. The show shouldn't have been canceled, but they should all been fired. All right, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos. Bye.